Have you ever stood up from your favorite armchair, only to find that it's harder than it used to be? Maybe your knees ache, or you have to lean on the armrests and give yourself a push. It's easy to shrug this off as a minor inconvenience, just another sign of getting older. But what if that small struggle to rise from your chair is actually a warning sign you shouldn't ignore? Many older adults discover, often too late, that difficulty standing up can signal hidden leg weakness, which in turn can lead to more serious mobility issues if left unaddressed. Part of what makes this so tricky is that for years we've been told to take it easy as we age. It sounds logical. Rest your legs, don't exert yourself too much, and all will be well. Yet many seniors who follow that advice notice they actually feel weaker over time, not stronger. The real detective work starts when you realize that resting more might be chipping away at your leg muscles, making everyday tasks, like getting out of a chair, far harder than they need to be. That's why addressing hidden leg weakness can open up pathways to living with greater independence and vitality. This matters for reasons that go beyond simple comfort. Stronger legs can make your entire world feel more accessible. With less leg pain and more stability, you may find it easier to go grocery shopping, play with grandkids, or participate in social events you might otherwise avoid. Beyond the physical, there's a profound emotional benefit. When you know you can get around on your own, you tend to feel more confident and less stressed about day-to-day activities. You might even feel less anxious about future falls because you'll have a stronger foundation to rely on. In a few moments, we'll look at 3 key areas that often keep older adults in a cycle of hidden leg weakness. By shining a light on these blind spots, we'll uncover how much of the advice seniors receive, while well-intentioned, can actually hold you back. We'll also dig into practical strategies that you can start applying almost immediately. Whether you want to stand up with ease, climb a flight of stairs without holding on to the railing, or simply feel more stable and secure in your movements, you're about to discover an approach that can help. A word of encouragement. If you've been told leg weakness is just something you have to live with, keep watching. Our mission here is to sift through outdated myths, separate facts from fiction, and equip you with knowledge that can lead to real improvements in your quality of life. While we're not offering a one-size-fits-all cure, everyone's situation is unique. We are going to explore proven suggestions that can set you on the right track. You might find that all it takes are a few targeted changes to create a meaningful shift in how you move and feel. By the end of this conversation, you'll have concrete tips that can help you rise from chairs more easily, preserve your leg strength, and regain the confidence to tackle everyday activities. If you're ready to turn detective on your own health and well-being, let's begin. After all, small steps can lead to surprisingly big results, especially when your goal is to preserve the gift of mobility. Are you with me so far? Good, let's get to the heart of it now. It's time to uncover the hidden traps that can weaken your legs and explore the practical solutions that can lift you right back up. Let's jump in and start questioning some common assumptions that might be holding you back without you even realizing it. Challenging conventional wisdom about taking it easy. One of the biggest misconceptions many older adults hold on to is that the less they move, the safer they are. You'll hear phrases like, "I just don't want to stress my knees," or "my back can't handle too much these days," repeated so often that they begin to feel like universal truths. But what if taking it easy is actually the reason why rising from a chair is becoming harder? Let's investigate that possibility. A lot of people assume that rest is the best remedy for tired or aching legs, especially as the years go by. While rest can help the body recover from occasional overuse, consistent inactivity often leads to the exact outcome we're trying to avoid: muscle decline. And it doesn't take months or years to begin noticing the shift. Even a few weeks of minimal movement can sap your leg strength enough to make everyday tasks more challenging. Consider Margaret, a 72-year-old retiree who was once an avid gardener. After a mild knee injury, she grew wary of bending, squatting, and walking long distances. So she started letting days pass without doing much on her feet. Weeks turned into months of gradual withdrawal. Initially, Margaret believed she was being proactive by taking it easy on her sore joints. However, she began to notice a subtle but concerning change. Standing up from her favorite armchair felt noticeably more difficult than before. At first, she chalked it up to the knee injury, but her doctor pointed out an overlooked factor: muscle atrophy. Because she'd slowed down her activities so dramatically, her muscles weren't being challenged enough to maintain their previous strength levels. The very thing she thought would help, rest, was actually contributing to her inability to stand up with ease. This is the crucial point many older adults miss. Yes, there are times when your body needs gentle care and rest. But when we adopt a mindset that equates no movement with better health, we can unknowingly slip into a downward spiral of muscle loss. Over time, those weakened muscles make ordinary tasks, like rising from a chair, feel overwhelming. It becomes a self-perpetuating cycle. The more challenging the activity feels, the less likely we are to attempt it, which in turn leads to further weakness. When we talk about hidden leg weakness, it's often a result of this subtle shift into a more sedentary routine. The good news is that small changes to your daily habits can interrupt this cycle. Instead of fearing movement, you can learn to incorporate safe, gentle exercises that specifically target the muscles around your hips, thighs, and knees. Simple actions like standing calf raises while holding onto the kitchen counter or doing mini squats next to a chair can be an excellent way to rebuild your foundation. Always listen to your body's signals, of course, but know there's a big difference between healthy caution and avoidance. Emotionally, the transformation can be just as impactful as the physical changes. Margaret realized she didn't have to lose her connection to the activities she loved. As her legs grew stronger, her confidence soared. She found herself not only able to stand up more easily, but also returning to her garden with a renewed sense of purpose. It felt like a piece of her identity had been restored. If you've been settling into a routine of limiting your movement out of fear of pain or injury, take a moment to reflect. Could some gentle, focused exercises actually be the safer, smarter path for your legs? Don't let caution become a barrier to strength. Re-examining this long-held assumption might be one of the most crucial steps you take in overcoming hidden leg weakness. Now, before we move on, ask yourself, have I been avoiding movements that could actually help me stay strong? If the answer is yes, it might be time for a new approach. You've just completed the first step in our detective work, challenging the idea that rest is always best. Next, we'll delve into another common misconception that can quietly sabotage your leg strength: the belief that you should rely mainly on external supports. Let's take a closer look. Rethinking your dependence on supports and devices. Another sneaky way hidden leg weakness can take hold is through the overuse of canes, walkers, or even just the habit of leaning on walls and furniture whenever you move around. While there's absolutely a time and place for walking aids, you should always follow professional advice if needed. Many people lean on these supports more than they actually need to. This can inadvertently reduce the workload on the very muscles that must remain active to keep you stable and strong. Charles, a 78-year-old who lives on his own, started using a walker a few years ago after a minor hip surgery. At first, it was a helpful tool that gave him extra balance and confidence. Over time, however, he relied on it for almost every step he took, even when his hip had mostly healed. Little by little, he noticed that his leg muscles seemed to fatigue more quickly. Tasks like climbing the front steps or walking down the driveway to get the mail became more laborious. Eventually, he needed his walker just to feel secure standing up from his couch. Why did this happen? Because by continually relying on an external device, Charles's body forgot how to manage balance and weight-bearing on its own. The muscles that once handled these tasks were left with too little work to do. This use it or lose it principle applies at any age, but it's especially noticeable in our later years, when muscle mass can decline more rapidly. The misconception here is that the walker, or cane, or wall is always the safer choice. Yes, these supports can prevent falls in certain cases and provide a vital sense of security. But if they're used out of habit rather than necessity, they may also accelerate hidden leg weakness. The key is knowing the difference between depending on a tool for protection and using it merely out of routine or fear. If you suspect you're relying on a support more than you need to, here's a practical approach. Start by performing brief walk and stand tests in a safe environment, such as a hallway where you can grab onto a railing if needed. See how your legs feel, and experiment with taking a few steps on your own if it's safe. Some people find they're stronger than they think, and short bouts of independent walking can gradually build muscle endurance. If your doctor or physical therapist supports this idea, you might progress to short daily walks without the device, while still keeping it nearby. The emotional aspect of easing away from supports can be profound. Many older adults discover a renewed sense of independence when they realize they can handle certain movements without assistance. It's not about throwing away a walker prematurely, it's about using it strategically. You become the judge of when support is genuinely needed and when you can let your muscles do the work. Keep in mind, this doesn't mean pushing yourself to go without a device if you truly need it for safety. Instead, it's about identifying areas where your reliance may be more a habit of mind than a physical necessity. By thoughtfully reducing that reliance, even if it's just for a few minutes each day, you begin to wake up muscles that might have been dozing off from underuse. Take a moment now to reflect on your own habits. Do you automatically reach for a cane or walker even when you're just going from the living room to the kitchen? Are you hesitant to stand up from a chair without something to lean on, even if you might be strong enough to try? This mental shift, this detective work, could be the clue that unlocks better balance and leg strength. We've tackled two important misconceptions so far: that less movement equals more safety, and that external supports are always the best choice. What's next? Let's investigate how everyday habits, including those related to nutrition and subtle activity choices, can make or break your leg strength. Get ready for some insights that might surprise you, because the final piece of this puzzle could be hiding in plain sight, right in your daily routine. Detecting the role of day-to-day habits in leg strength. Often, when seniors think about improving leg strength, the focus falls on formal exercise programs or specialized therapies. While these can be beneficial, it's easy to overlook how small, daily habits can either build up or break down your leg muscles. Everything from how you get out of bed in the morning to the types of foods you consume plays a part in whether you rise from that chair with ease or with a groan. Let's start by looking at low-level, everyday activities, things that might not even seem like exercise at all. Judy, a 69-year-old retiree, noticed her legs feeling wobbly whenever she got up after sitting for a while. Intrigued, she began paying closer attention to her daily patterns. She realized that modern conveniences were robbing her of many tiny movements that used to keep her legs active. Grocery delivery replaced a trip to the store, a remote control replaced manually getting up to change the TV channel, and an electric recliner lifted her almost to a standing position with minimal effort on her part. Each of these conveniences was small on its own, but combined, they meant Judy's legs were rarely bearing weight or doing the simple tasks that help maintain muscle tone. To reclaim her strength, she decided to reintroduce some activities that had become optional in her life. Rather than using the electric recliner's lift function, she began standing up under her own power, even if it required some caution at first. She walked around the block to pick up a newspaper at a nearby convenience store instead of having it delivered right to her door. These minor adjustments added up, gradually helping her stand up more confidently. On the nutritional front, pay special attention to protein intake. Many older adults don't get enough high-quality protein, which is essential for muscle maintenance and repair. Foods like lean meats, eggs, beans, and dairy products can play a key role in rebuilding leg strength. It's not about extreme diets or drastic changes. It's about ensuring your muscles have the building blocks they need to remain strong. Remember that dietary needs can differ from person to person, so discussing any major changes with a healthcare provider is always a good idea. Another subtle yet impactful habit concerns hydration. Dehydration can leave muscles feeling weak and more prone to cramps, which can deter you from moving around as much as you might otherwise. By drinking water regularly throughout the day, you help your muscles perform better when you do stand up and move, making it less of a struggle. Emotionally, these everyday choices can lead to a sense of empowerment. When Judy saw herself successfully carrying groceries or standing up from her chair, without that awkward push, she felt more in control of her health. It was like she had cracked a code. These small actions, done consistently, create a surprisingly big difference in how your legs feel and function. You don't need an intense workout routine to see improvement. Simply monitoring your day-to-day movement and making small adjustments, like standing up to stretch every hour or adding a short walk after dinner, can start reversing hidden leg weakness. The cumulative effect of these small steps is often far greater than we realize. So think about your own day. How many small movements are you skipping because modern life makes them optional? Can you identify at least one or two habits that, if modified, would prompt your legs to do a bit more work? Reflecting on these questions can open your eyes to opportunities for preserving and even boosting your leg strength without massive lifestyle changes. We've now uncovered three major areas that often trap older adults in a cycle of declining leg strength: overemphasizing rest, depending too heavily on external supports, and overlooking how day-to-day habits shape your mobility. By shining a light on these misconceptions, you can begin taking steps, both literal and metaphorical, towards stronger legs and a more confident life. If you're still with me, congratulations on making it this far. You've taken on the role of detective, questioning long-held beliefs and investigating the hidden clues in your daily routines. It's time to bring everything together and chart a path forward, one that may help you stand up from that chair with greater ease and assurance. Picture it. No more bracing yourself for that uncomfortable push or fearing you might need someone else's arm just to stand. Instead, imagine the simple joy of rising to your feet, steady and sure. That reality isn't out of reach. It's a matter of continuing to apply what you've learned and making gradual adjustments that fit your lifestyle. Let's put all these insights together and see how they can shape a stronger, more independent future. There's no need to fear the prospect of hidden leg weakness once you understand what causes it and how to counteract it. By shifting your mindset around rest, carefully evaluating your use of supports, and fine-tuning your daily habits, you can stay ahead of the game, no matter your age or current fitness level. As we close this discussion, it's important to remember that every individual has unique health considerations. If you have specific concerns or a complex medical history, consulting with a qualified healthcare professional can help tailor these strategies to your needs. Still, the fundamental idea stands. Even small, mindful actions can lead to remarkable improvements in leg strength, mobility, and ultimately, your overall quality of life. So where do you go from here? That depends on your comfort level and where you see yourself on this journey. You might start by gently testing your legs around the house, or by talking to a friend or family member who can keep you motivated. Some of you will feel inspired to try new exercises or see a physical therapist for personalized guidance. Others might decide to change up daily routines, adding a bit more movement into otherwise sedentary moments. Whatever your next step is, know that you're not stuck with weak legs simply because you're older. The body has an incredible capacity to adapt when given the right stimuli and care. And perhaps even more importantly, you have the power to make informed decisions about your own health. This is the time to seize that power. Visualize yourself standing tall, whether you're getting out of bed, rising from a chair, or walking into your favorite restaurant. Think of how it would feel to trust your legs fully and step forward without hesitation. That confidence can be yours with a blend of consistent effort, curiosity, and self-compassion. Now, I encourage you to do something tangible with what you've learned. Stand up, literally, and see how you feel. Take note of any changes you can make right away, such as shifting the way you stand or focusing on engaging your core and leg muscles a bit more. Jot down a few goals like adding a few extra steps to your daily routine or trying a simple exercise in the morning. And don't forget to share what you've discovered with friends or family members who might also benefit from these insights. By staying curious, vigilant, and proactive, you're writing your own story of resilience. You're proving that age doesn't have to mean giving up mobility or independence. Together, we've uncovered the hidden pathways to stronger legs and a more confident stance. The rest is up to you to put into practice. Remember, every time you rise from a chair under your own power, you're not just standing up. You're standing for your freedom, your vitality, and your right to live life on your own terms. That's something worth celebrating and worth working for. You've come this far, so keep going. Your journey toward greater strength and independence can start now, one mindful step at a time.